lot of homeowners think adding a pergola to their existing deck means tearing the whole thing up and starting over. That is usually not true. But there is a right way and a very wrong way to do this. And the difference between the two is whether your pergola is still standing after the first big storm. Hey, I'm Luan, founder of Deck Bros. We have added pergolas to existing deck plenty of times. And it is one of those projects that looks simple until you see how most people get it wrong. So in this video, I am going to walk you through exactly how we approach this project, what we check before we touch anything, and how to get a pergola added to your existing deck the right way. Let's get into it. Can your existing deck actually support a pergola? The first thing I look at when someone wants to add a pergola to their existing deck is the footing. Is the footing big enough to support the additional load that the pergola is going to put on it? If it is not, we have two options. We either dig new footings to support the pergola independently, or we assess whether the pergola can tie into the existing structure in the house, instead of relying on the deck footing at all. Here's what most homeowners do not think about until it is too late. If you are planning to add a pergola a year or two after your deck is built, the footing might not be in the right location to support that structure. This is why during every planning conversation I tell people, think about this now. Think about what you might want later. Because a lot of our clients come back after the deck is done and say they still cannot figure out their shade situation, and now they want a structure. And sometimes we have to tell them we cannot do it the way they want to be done because the footing was not positioned for it. Planning matters. It changes everything. The mistake that causes most pergola failure on existing deck. I see pergola fail for two main reasons. The first is improper connection. Water get into the weak connection. It sit there, start breaking down the material around it. And over time, the whole structure becomes loose. What looks solid on day one is got wobbling by year 3. The second thing I see is neglect. People do not upkeep their pergola, especially the wood ones. They do not stain them, they do not maintain them. And eventually, the structures start looking rough, and people stop going outside. And once you stop using an area of your home, it deteriorates faster than anywhere else. And by the time you notice it, the damage is already done. When do you need to pull some more? I want to be upfront with you about this because we are upfront with every homeowner we sit down with. There are situations where a few deck boards have to come up. It is not always avoidable. If the blocking needs to be added and we cannot access the framing from below, some board have to come up so we can get in there and do it right. This is something we flush out before we ever agree on to a deal. At the initial consultation, we are already looking at where the new footing are needed, where the boards needed to come up, and where the project is even viable the way the homeowner is imagining it. Most homeowners, when they understand why it needs to happen, are willing to do it because the alternative is the connection that fails, and nobody wants to pay for a pergola that comes down in a storm. The disruption is minimal when it is planned for. A few board come up, the work gets done underneath, the board go back down. You would never know it happened. What changes once the pergola is on? After the pergola is on, the main thing the homeowner needs to stay on top is maintenance. Keep the connection checked annually. If you went with wood, stain it on a schedule every 2-3 years. If you went with aluminum or composite, it is lower maintenance, but still check the fastener after a major storm. Catching a loose connection early costs you nothing. Catching it after it fails costs you a lot. Here's my honest advice. Whether you're thinking about doing it yourself or hiring it out, here's what I want you to know before you start. First, check what your HOA allows and what the city requires. A lot of pergolas require a permit, and that is not something to skip. Get the permit process started before you buy a single piece of material. Second, make sure your existing deck has adequate footing to support the additional load. You do not want to put unexpected stress on one post or one beam and cause it to sink or shift. Third, if you are going with a kit, understand the warranty. Some of these products are not built for harsh weather, and that matters depending on where you live. If this video helped you understand what is actually involved in adding a pergola to an existing deck, hit subscribe because we are putting out content like this every single week. Real processes, real costs, zero gatekeeping. And if you are already thinking about your project, drop your question in the comment below. We read everyone. I will see you in the next video.